JD Vance has finally gone over the edge, proverbially couch surfing all over the place. The Vice President JD Vance tweeted, "I don't give a shit," to one of the Krasenstein brothers when it was pointed out to him that using the military to go after cartels without due process is considered a war crime. Now, there is some legal debate about that. It's not an open and shut case, and it warrants a little more evaluation. But JD Vance just flat out said in very vice presidential language, "I don't give a shit," when it was pointed out that it could be a war crime. And so this was not like a throwaway off the cuff thing. It was really a window into how these guys treat laws and norms supposedly meant to keep the world's most powerful military in check. And we have to consider that they don't really care about the law at the end of the day. This is really far more about the degree to which they want to further their own agenda, no matter what the law says. JD Vance tweeted, "Killing cartel members who poison our fellow citizens is the highest and best use of our military." To which Brian Krasenstein responded, "Killing the citizens of another nation who are civilians without any due process is called a war crime." And JD Vance says, "I don't give a shit what you call it." What we what we do know is that the American military can't just be used for whatever the president wants. That we know. And we know that at home, there's this thing, the Posse Comitatus Act. It's been on the books since 1878 to make sure that the armed forces aren't used as the president's personal police. Now, there are exceptions. You've got the Insurrection Act. They're rare. They're supposed to really be used for actual breakdowns of civil authority, not for political disagreements, not for protests. So that's the domestic part of it. This other thing about going into other countries, going after cartels, accidentally killing fishermen and civilians and the entire thing, it's illegally, under the Geneva Conventions and international law, war crimes happen during armed conflicts, and they do involve things like deliberately targeting civilians. That's true. Using the military inside the U.S. is not automatically a war crime. Using the military outside the U.S. and a civilian accidentally dies, it's not necessarily a war crime. It's legally complicated. There's this argument over, well, does it matter if it's a legally declared war or not? A lot of people believe that that's what matters. Was war declared? And the law is more complicated than that as well. But what I found really interesting here was actually Senator Rand Paul's response. It's one of those, a terrible person happened to say something that is correct. He tweeted, quote, "JD, I don't give a shit Vance says killing people he accuses of a crime is the highest and best use of the military." Did he ever read To Kill a Mockingbird? Did he ever wonder what might happen if the accused were immediately executed without trial or representation? What a despicable and thoughtless sentiment it is to glorify killing someone without a trial. Now, there's two sides to this. Number one, obviously Rand Paul is correct. These laws exist for a reason, and due process is, to call it important is such an understatement. At the same time, Rand Paul has a history of excusing a lot of vile and despicable behavior. Rand Paul could have voted to convict Donald Trump after he incited the January 6th riots. He didn't vote that way. That's just one example in the Senate. And so this is one of those things where, if you've been following the online reaction, there have been some Republicans who have been saying, I don't agree with this element of what's being done domestically, or I don't agree with that element of using the military to go after cartels in the way that Donald Trump is threatening to do. But Rand Paul, as are most of these Republicans, he is a complete and total hypocrite. Now, critics of JD Vance say this is why Vance might be more dangerous than Trump. And so when we think about this, if Trump were to die, if Trump were to be impeached and removed, if Trump, whatever, 25th Amendment, if by any scenario Donald Trump's presidency, Donald Trump's reign ends short of this presidential term and someone else takes over, there is a reasonable fear that it may not be a particularly good thing for the country, because Vance is more the type of guy who will quietly follow orders from the donors and from the party bosses and just make horrible stuff happen with a lot less bluster. And he might end up having an easier time crossing lines than Donald Trump has because he would do it quietly. The bottom line, the bigger picture, is Vance is saying out loud, he doesn't, to use his term, give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about legal guardrails. That's terrifying and that's dangerous. And when we talk about authoritarianism, that's what we're talking about, not caring about the legal guardrails.